Hey, it's Scott Carlos at Stansberry Research. I'm here at the 2018 Alliance Conference in Las Vegas. I'm here with Matt McCall. He is the founder and president of Penn Financial Group and the chief editor of Matt McCall's Investment Strategies.
Nice
Matt,
to see
how are
you.
you? Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So a couple of questions for you. The first one, what would be your single most important piece of advice for investors?
I think you have to look long term. There's so many people out there that are very short-minded. We live in a society that is really instant gratification. I'm guilty of it in most of life. I love getting to where I need to go right now. I love making money right now. But unfortunately, you have to really kind of invest for the long term and look at things in a big picture. So for me, you can have a play account, don't get me wrong, but you need to have money that works for you over time.
You gave a great example in there. You're talking about Intuitive Surgical,
yeah,
and how it went from 11 to 15. You're like, wow, this is a home run.
Yeah.
You made close to 40%. And it's over $500 now.
Yeah, so imagine like what I thought it was great. My clients loved it at the time.
Sure
in a few months, annualize that, we're making over 100%. I mean, you're looking at what? From 11 to 500, almost $600 a share. And what's happening in that time frame? I could tell you what I was doing that day. Time goes fast. So invest in some core companies, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember, just as a quick aside, I remember when the stock went to $100, and I couldn't believe it.
And people thought it was way too high then.
Yeah. Wow, were they wrong? So what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? I don't sleep. I mean, I'm up all night. Are you kidding me? So with the stock market, not much right now, really. I believe that we are still 2 or 3 years left in this bull market, and I know most people will not agree. But I see, talking to business people, you watch the mainstream media, and it's so negative. It concerns a lot of people, but they need to sell advertising. I used to be in the media. It has to be either very much greed or very much fear. We're all playing on fear right now. Joking aside, what does keep me up at night is I don't want to wake up to President Trump with some crazy tweet, because that ruins my stocks half the darn time. Other than that, but we get over it in a couple of days, and it's good. But there's not much keeping me up. I think this market is still in a very good spot. I think earnings are great. I think valuations, many people are going to tell you valuations are out of whack. But when we're at valuations at those levels, revenues weren't growing anymore. We're still growing revenues double digit, and people ignore that. So to me, I think we're good.
I like it. You spoke about game-changing health technologies. Where would you place the iWatch, or would you put the iWatch in that category?
Absolutely. So I bought my first Apple Watch about 3 months ago. I'm 42 years old, I have heart disease in my family. I work out, I'm in shape, ate well, I'm not worried about it. High cholesterol, so I went to my cardiologist. But before I went there, I bought the Apple Watch, but I also bought a special band for $250 that is a real-time FDA-approved EKG. Since that time, the new Apple Watch 4 now has one built-in FDA-approved EKG. It could track it. It sends it to my doctor whenever I take it. So if I do it once or twice a day, before I work out, after I work out, if I'm stressed out at work. So he now knows the health of my heart almost 24/7. To me, it's the future. Wearables as far as healthcare, I think it's so underlooked. Back in the day, I've owned Apple for years, and I always liked it because of the future potential Apple TV. Never worked. I was wrong. To me, the future of Apple is about healthcare. The healthcare in this world is changing dramatically. We're going to know exactly what's wrong with us, preventative. We're going to be able to go in and catch things. How many people die from heart attacks they didn't know were coming? There's going to be a watch that alerts you, get the hell to the hospital.
Yeah.
So to me, I think Apple is onto something, and that watch is great now. 4 years from now, it's going to be a million times better.
I would agree. In the the wearable watch right now for Apple falls into the other category, which is a really small percent of revenues. So again, you like growth opportunities in there.
I love it.
Seems to be a big growth opportunity there. What's your favorite investment asset class right now?
I'd say what I call transportation 2.0. That's going to be the future of transportation. I mentioned in the speech earlier, I haven't had a car in about 12 years, but I believe autonomous vehicles are the future. People think it's crazy, but people thought the iPhone was crazy 11 years ago, and now you can't leave home without it. I ran back to my room before because I forgot it, and I felt like I literally left like my child. I don't have a kid, and I felt like I left a kid back there. So I'd run back and get it. That is how it's going to be with autonomous vehicles. We're going to be so blown away how it is 10 years from now. Sensors on the cars, not the car makers particularly, but the amount of data that's going to be sent from those cars. Cars talking to cars talking to cities. Future of Internet of Things, cars, to me, biggest investment that we're going to see in the next 20 years.
Now, is there any way you can guarantee that you're actually going to get an autonomous vehicle tonight when you go out?
No, I tried it when I was sitting out there waiting to go on stage to see if I can get one. My thing is I figure I could just go from bar to bar having a drink until I find one. If not, I'll walk home, yeah.
Fair enough. Now, did you learn more from your biggest failure or your biggest success?
Biggest failure for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, failures in the stock market. I lost it all when I was in college. I doubled it in a few months. It wasn't my money. My father gave me some money, very little bit amount of money. I lost it a few months later. I've started many companies and I've had a lot of successes, but I've had a lot that have absolutely failed. And, you know, to me, when it comes to investing, you need to have that feeling of losing. This is a funny side story, but I was walking home from the Eagles-Titans game yesterday, and I was in Nashville. I'm an Eagles fan. And we did the walk of shame, walking 1.5 miles from my house, screaming at us, yelling at us. And I turned back to the bunch of us with them, like, you should have all your kids do this. You know what it's like to lose, and you don't want to ever do this walk again. So it's good to lose because you don't want to lose again, and you learn from those lessons.
Yeah, we definitely, I know with investing, when you make mistakes, you're much more likely to go back and say, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
And then sometimes you can stumble onto successes and you don't know it.
You have to keep looking. I mean, we want to ignore our failures because just as human beings, we want to kind of push the negative aside, but we must embrace that and see what we did well in it, number one, and then how we can make it better.
100%. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Sean.
If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to press that like button. Comment down below, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, please. And remember to click that bell to be sure you don't miss out on our newest updates. Stay tuned for more updates from our Vegas conference.